when you have a customer, a client, a lead, they can't just sit in AWeber, guys, right? You can only just be an AWeber guy for so long. I hate to break the news. You can only just be an eye contact lady for so long before you have to get more information than just an email address. Because the good news and bad news about email today, 2017, as I say this, is that email is the greatest opportunity in the world to get in front of a lot of people quick, but engagement and open rates have never been at lower levels, and they're only going lower like a stock falling off a cliff. So it's really, really, really difficult to build and scale with email alone. It has to be part of an overall strategy, but it's becoming the weakest link. I mean, you're seeing big companies today doing everything in their power to get two things, a phone number and a physical address. That's the big push today. Email is just, if we get it, cool, we'll email them behind the workhorses. They'll kind of come in as like, you know, the relief pitcher when we're up by 8 points, we'll email them, right? That's or 8 runs, that's how that works. So CRM gives you full capacity to email, to direct mail, to text, to manage conversations, right? So we run, I'll give you a couple examples. These are the big two, by the way. So we run all of LDI off Infusionsoft. How many of you have heard of Infusionsoft? Big name. They're the leader in sales and marketing automation today, Infusionsoft. I use Entreport in my own personal business. I used to use Infusionsoft, but now I use Entreport. They're both great. They're very similar. I don't think one's really too much better than the other. Those are like the Microsoft and Apple, if you will, of sales and marketing CRM automation. So at some point, you need to be managing customer data like a big boy, and not just managing email addresses, but managing full customer data, full customer information. This is how you do it. Now, the next step behind that, and this has been really the biggie in the marketplace as of late, is ClickFunnels. How many of you have heard of ClickFunnels? Russell Brunson's company. This has just probably been the most disruptive company, the most disruptive sales funnel creator that really has ever hit. I mean, it made WordPress look like an arts and crafts project. Really, because it was done, it was built and designed by a savvy internet marketer who understands sales funnels. So the people that built WordPress and OptimizePress are great. Jordan used an example of OptimizePress, perfectly fine, but a little bit more sophisticated. Something like ClickFunnels is kind of drag and drop, and it really does an amazing job of creating that sales funnel for you, because if you can do this right here, integrate CRM with sales funnel, you have massive leverage in your business. And at some point, if you're going to become a brand and own your own product, become a publisher, be big, play big, break out from an income standpoint, you need to have a CRM and a sales funnel running somewhere in the background. And the best way to do this today, Phil, I was using the example before of the books that I do in that example, and I almost never will work with a client that doesn't have ClickFunnels. And as a matter of fact, that's mandatory when I work with a client, is I go into their ClickFunnels account. So that's number one. They don't necessarily have to have a CRM, but it makes my team's job really difficult if everything stays in the sales funnel side of things and it doesn't communicate with an automation like an Infusionsoft or an Entreport. So, and they communicate very well. ClickFunnels knows that Entreport and Infusionsoft are the big daddies, so they build their systems to communicate. Any of you at the point where you're using both or no? Or you have one or the other? I know some of you have ClickFunnels accounts. You guys use ClickFunnels? They are. I'm glad you brought that up. They definitely are. They're trying to get into the CRM space, but obviously it's happening slower than they would like because they're a sales funnel company and they're taking on now, that's a next level thing for them. Is what he said was ClickFunnels is trying to become sort of a CRM. They're not quite there yet. Yeah. And you could do email marketing out of ClickFunnels. You could do that. And I think there's a little bit of customer data management that can happen. So for you guys, using you as an example, your green business and your tackle business, you guys should have a ClickFunnels account at the very least, just so you can do lead generation and start to move people down certain paths and really figure out what they respond to best and what their actions are. But this is the ultimate leverage in your business right here, is linking a CRM with a sales funnel and really giving yourself the ultimate leverage. But here's the way great entrepreneurs think about this, though. They think about a sales funnel as a true asset. So you can build a business, that's fine. You can be a top producer, that's great. But if you want to have a real asset that you own and can sell one day, you need a sales funnel, you need a sales process. Have you ever watched Shark Tank? Believe me when I tell you that if you think intelligently about the questions that the sharks ask, they ask a lot of questions about sales, don't they? What are your sales? What are the numbers, right? And it's so funny to watch because some people are like, they're dialed in with their questions. Other times it's like a deer in headlights. You're like, oh, that poor guy. If only he knew what we knew, right? It happens all the time. But they're digging for, I'm not buying or investing in anything unless there's an asset built within the business, and that asset built within the business is a sales process. It's a sales funnel. In the companies that you see getting bought out, not all of them, by the way, there's always exceptions to the rule. Don't get caught up with seeing companies like Snapchat get bought out. These companies are dead in the water. They won't even be here in 10 years. But when real companies get bought out for $50 million, $100 million, you know what's getting bought? The sales process, the sales funnel, and the customers that have been built and developed within. That's the third piece, customer experience, which I'll talk about. That's what they're buying. They're not buying ABC company. They're not buying management because management's gone. They're buying the process. It's like McDonald's. I think it was Aaron that said he just watched the Ray Kroc. I haven't seen it yet, the Ray Kroc movie. On the way over here, was it good? The McDonald's story? The Founder, that was it. I was about to watch it on the airplane at one point, but didn't. But I want to watch that movie because that's the best example. People always use that example of McDonald's as the ultimate process example, right? McDonald's operates in California the same way it does in Hong Kong, right? This is how you have to think about your business. My sales process can be duplicated, multiplied anywhere I go, but it's an asset built within the business. So when I talked yesterday about being the CEO of U-Inc., remember I used this word. CEOs think about building assets and processes within their business. They don't just think about making income and making money. They think about building assets, building wealth. This is your ultimate asset in your business, and not much will happen without it.